I'm here with Spica. Spica, how are you doing today?
Um, could be better. Could be better. I think. I mean, obviously today's game didn't matter for our standings, right? But still really wanted to go out. Playing as good as we can. Showing our potential. I think we were. I wouldn't say we were trolling, but we were also a bit more lax in draft, right? We played the Silas. I think our mid jungle combo was kind of bad. But nevertheless, could be better. I would say.
How is how has summer been for you? Like just generally, not even like gameplay wise, but like how are things been going?
Um, Just yeah. I mean, honestly, I'll say summer split. Obviously, very stressful, right? The gameplay stuff. Plus, I have some, outside of the game stuff, like my personal stuff. Um, if I think it's been a really stressful split, at least just because of how poorly we're doing and like the level of expectation was just very high. We technically upgraded rosters on paper, right? We had
Mm-hmm.
Boken, very seasoned player, very accomplished, won a lot. So in theory, we should be, doing much better than last split. But just starting off scrims really well. We have very high expectations for ourselves. And then going on stage, going 0-6, just losing a lot of games. That's not even in close fashion. It is just, these games were it just looks very bad, very chaotic. It's definitely very stressful for me at least. So yeah, I
I
would
think
say this is one of the most stressful splits in my career, honestly.
I think a lot of people see you this way, and like I kind of agree with this. Just like talking to you now and like seeing you in interviews and stuff, you seem like the weight of the world on your shoulders kind of player. Like it seemed like this on TSM, where like you'd be going and like a little bit more in gameplay on TSM, where it's like you were 1v9 sometimes,
Mhm.
but like it really feels like you. I don't know. You're always like trying to like take the blame, and you're like, dude, my bad. I'm gonna try to like pull up, and you feel how bad the team is doing, or like how how much pressure is coming from the fans. I don't know. It's like I feel like you don't need to put that pressure on yourself. You have a lot of fans who just like watching you for who you are,
Mhm.
and like I think a lot of people appreciate though that you put that kind of weight on yourself. I don't know if you feel that like you put the weight of the team and the fans on your shoulders.
Mm. I mean, I think definitely. I think one thing is that everybody feels that on our team, which is I feel like is a problem, right? At least speaking
Mm.
to myself, sometimes, when my team is struggling, I feel like, oh, I got to do everything, right? And I feel like that's a very bad mindset. That I've been trying to working to change that even before. When a team is doing bad, if you have that hero mindset, I feel like, I mean, it's just in game, outside the game. Like one example is like I think a lot of times when my team is struggling, I try to call everything, right? I try to make sure everyone's okay. So I'm
Yeah,
looking like lanes, and I sometimes forget, what I should be doing myself, right? So at least this play I thought was, focusing a lot on, what I can do as individuals before, like just putting myself before the team, which kind of sounds weird because most of the time people are like, oh, I put my team in front of before myself, right?
no,
Um,
I think it's a really mature perspective. I think you get like older like veteran players, which it's almost weird to call you a veteran because I remember when you debuted. But
yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been playing for like 3-4 years, three and a half.
it's crazy.
I
I've been
never
watching.
feel like I'm a veteran.
You are a veteran, and it's a really mature perspective, right? Because like
Mhm.
you talk to these players who like start to go through the same phases you have, like Caps, right?
Mhm.
Caps went through a slump year last year, or no, not
Mhm.
last year, 2 years ago, and he talked about like how he needed to feel like himself, and he was putting too much weight on himself, too much pressure. He was listening to other people, and like he just needed to put himself first, and
Mhm.
like that's a really mature perspective. Because I think you're right that some people do say like I put the team above everything else, but winning above everything else. But when you talk to older players, people like Impact, who's on your team, like they talk about how important it is to take care of yourself. I think it's not like a weird thing. I think it's a mature thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would say that's like something that I was working towards. Maybe, not as perfect as I wanted to be, but obviously I feel like I've definitely made progress in that department, which like, oh, you know, just put yourself, make sure you're okay, and then, because, and then you're able to help your team, right?
Yeah, I think a big part of that, like this last thing with regards to the team, that I want to talk about you a little bit, but like, a big part of what people talk about is like I spoke to Tactical, and he said that like one of the things that he liked about INT was that like they kind of got along effortlessly, and it'd be kind of awkward to like be forcing yourself to talk to people,
Hmm.
and like try to force yourself to get along. But like,
Yeah.
do you feel like when you're kind of putting everything on yourself to like make the team work together, do you think you're like trying to like put things together socially? Because I imagine there's a lot of like social strain on the team too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say in terms of socially, I think this is one of the least social teams from my perspective. I think, I mean, honestly, I put getting along with the teammates very high in terms of how good a team would be, right? Yeah, like historically, I think G2 was one of the example. It's like everyone seems like they're just best friends, and it doesn't feel like a job. Even though even when they were formed, they weren't considered a super team, right? They're like a good roster. But personally, I put getting along with a teammate very high on how good a team will be. I had a lot of fun in 2020. I mean, it was fucking like honestly, like looking back now, it's kind of like taking it for granted. If I would say like honestly, that's like a really good start for my career where I didn't know that wasn't the norm, if that makes sense. It just felt like I enjoy coming to work every day. I really enjoy working with all those teammates and um just every day doesn't feel like a job, right? Every day just feels like you come in, you chill with your friends, you play some fucking League of Legends, and then you guys have fun, right? Whether you lose. Obviously, we had a lot of pressure to perform, because of, I think Soren is a very great leader. Just we're all trying to win, but we don't put winning above not getting along with your teammates, right? Like we value that. We value like getting along with your teammates as part of winning. And I think we did really well. Even when we're in a bad spot, which we were in a bad spot a lot of times. Yeah, we had a lot of arguments. It's not like, oh, we're all friends. I'm not gonna tell you you play this like shit, right? Like we had a lot of arguments, but after scrims, we'll always put those aside. And it's a bit of the same in like 2021. A bit less of that, but me and Huni will always go. Me, Huni, and Lost will always go Korean barbecue or just go to K Town, right? We'll just like eat food or something, And Storm was still there, and it just felt it didn't felt like work. It didn't felt corporate. It just felt like a bunch of friends playing the game. And Huni facilitate a lot of that, outside the game. And then I would say, starting from like 2022, that's when I didn't feel like I was like really friends with my teammates. It just felt like more of a job, partially just because our personality didn't really get along, right? And how poorly we were doing in last year. And this year as well, I feel like, I mean, maybe it's partially my fault, but it definitely felt a lot harder to connect to, someone that doesn't really speak your language. They don't really understand, the cultural aspects, right, of America, and sometimes, just like miscommunication and things like that. It just felt hard to connect to my teammates just because it just felt different.
Yeah, I mean, like players like Soren and BB and Huni are like, they're like, other people talk about how fucking good they are at this thing, right? Like making people get along with each other, making the team love playing. Like this is the skill that this is the leadership that everyone praises Soren for, right? Or like used to praise him for when he was an active player. But like,
Yeah.
Like like that was their thing. I definitely get like why losing that could be so hard. I think it's really good that like you can kind of reflect on that. I hope for your sake, because I feel like you're kind of player who really needs that that good mental space, kind of like Caps, right? Like where you're just like, if I have a good mental, you're just 1v9. I hope you have that next year. But talking a little bit more about you, of more fun stuff. You tweeted that you were going to see either Barbie or Oppenheimer first.
Yes.
Which one did you see? Did you see one?
I haven't watched it yet because we're busy, but I lost the pool, so I have to go see Barbie now.
But you're going to see Oppenheimer after?
I mean, I have to.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. If you watch Oppenheimer first, I watched Oppenheimer last night, dude.
Okay.
I couldn't move after.
Was it on the 78mm or just like a normal showing?
No, I think it was a normal showing, but like it's still. I have like a little bit of ear and like light sensitivity, so I don't mind doing like the 70mm. I'm not like that interested in doing it, but definitely it would look amazing in 70mm with like.
I mean, I have to, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be incredible. Definitely like you should definitely post your like review of it or something after.
Well, I mean, I'll have a lot of time now, I guess. So
if you want to start a new movie review series where you just like get on, talk about a new movie you saw, might as well,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not usually a movie watcher. Honestly, I haven't really been into like medias, in general. It's like anime shows, just movies in general. But I mean, I definitely have to see this one.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I believe you moved in with your girlfriend. Was that correct? That's the couch thing?
It was in spring, yes. I was moving apartment in the middle of like spring split.
So your couch that was being decided on semi-recently, was one picked? Yeah. Was the argument finished?
Yeah.
What was the couch that was picked?
The one that my girlfriend picked.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I agree with it. That couch looked nice.
Okay, that couch looked nice, but it's like everybody has that couch, you know? Fucking Timmy next door has that couch. It's like I wanted something different and unique, you know? It's like, oh, where'd you get this couch from? This looks sick, and I've never seen it before. I was like, oh, now people walk into my apartment like, oh
Dude,
yeah.
people, you think people come in and they're like, dude, get me a referral code on your couch.
Dude, I mean, honestly, I was into furniture for a bit, and there's some really sick furnitures, especially the one from Lignan Rosette, the what's it called, the Togo couch. I think that one's really popular. I'm pretty sure you've seen it as well. And then there's another one from like Roche Bobois, I think. It's like a French. I probably butchered the pronunciation, but it's like a French like bubble couch.
Dude, you did so much couch shopping. You like know all the names.
I mean, honestly, I really enjoy when I first discover something new, right? And then you get to see like the range of like products of how high it could go. When I was first into clothes, at first it was just the normal 15-year-old, like Supreme was really popular when I was in high school. Palace was really popular, and now I'm more into like the Japanese brands that's more obscure. So I just really like seeing that progression of like your knowledge on a subject, right? And I enjoy like researching whether whatever new thing it is.
You're hitting challenger in couch shopping.
Exactly.
You're hard grind.
LP every time. I look at, oh shit, this is a new strat. I'm getting LP, and now I'm like, I ranked up.
New strat, downloaded Honey, you got a discount on.
Yeah, exactly.
On my new couch. That's so sick. I love how into it you get. All right, well, it's incredible interview. You're so open. I am very sad that I'm not going to get to see you because honestly, I'm a huge fan of like I love watching you play. TSM 2020. That was the first one I watched because COVID.
Okay.
And I was like, dude. I was like, all I knew was like Bjergsen's the GOAT, and I was a mid laner, so I was like, fuck it, I'll root for Bjergsen's team. I became such a huge fan of you guys. I feel really bad that like you've had such like bad luck, like bad placements or whatever, because like I think people generally agree that you've been a top jungler for like basically since you debuted. So really hope that you get to I don't know, pop off next year and C9 doesn't just keep winning fucking 7 splits in a row because it's starting to get really boring script writers.
I mean, my hot take is that I think GG is a better team right now. I mean, maybe not so much of a hot take because there's only 2 teams you can pick from, but I think GG has been playing really, really well. So it doesn't feel like C9 is just gonna roll everybody over, right?
You think they're gonna win the tiebreaker? I think it's starting.
Well, I mean, I don't really care about the tiebreaker. It's BO1. Anything could happen, but just from playing against them, I just feel like GG is a much better team. I feel like C9, over 100 games, I feel like if C9 wants to win, their individual talent needs to shine better, right? I think GG's teamwork is just much ahead of C9. Yeah, I mean, it's just my opinion, man. You know what I'm saying? It's either right or wrong. That's how it is.
Yeah. Well, I hope that you have a very profitable off season.
I mean, I'll be streaming. I'll be streaming.
You streaming? Plug your stream.
Spica, LOL. Twitch.tv. Spica. I'll be there.
You actually have a banger stream. I love tuning in.
Yeah, I'll probably be playing some Valor with my brother. He's fucking hilarious, so I'm looking forward to that.